Okay, great. Hey, if you guys don't mind, I apologize. Go back to your um, BYU Idaho email, or Jeff, I sent yours to your jeff.leak@karcherna.com. Click on that Google Hangout, because this one I'm not able to record, but I'm recording on the other one. Yeah. All right. Thanks, sir. Here we go.
Now
Are we
we
there?
Yeah, sorry about that. I knew I was going to have to do that.
That's so good. Hang out. I'll be right back.
All right, sounds great.
So, Nicholas, last time you were talking from your phone, right?
Yes.
Okay. So it is cold in North Carolina right now?
Yeah, it's pretty cold. I mean, it was like 20 degrees all day.
Oh,
Yeah, it's pretty
wow.
cold.
How to change my complaints.
That's
I
right.
hear you.
Yeah.
But I think the hottest summer, Iowa can get pretty hot because we're always humid. It's, Iowa's, not that you need a history lesson in Iowa, but in Iowa, there's no irrigation here for crops. It's just there's a lot of black, heavy topsoil in Iowa. So when it rains, it gets sucked into the ground and then the ground holds it and then it gets really humid and sucks it back up in the air. So in our summers are really humid, but I was in Houston in August babysitting my grandchildren for 9 days. And I don't know, it was hot. 97-degree temperature, 97 humidity. It was hot.
Yeah, it is hot. You can sweat all around all day.
So anyhow.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't know what's going on with Paula. And then Andy isn't here. It is 11:05, or sorry, it's 10:05 my time.
Yes.
So we're just gonna go ahead and start, if that's okay with y'all.
Sure.
Sounds great.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. So I'm the facilitator today. It does ask us if we can begin with a prayer. I'll go ahead and say that, the opening prayer.
Very
If
good.
that's okay with y'all.
Sure.
Yes.
Great. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank Thee for this opportunity we have to gather together as classmates. We're grateful for the information which we have been assigned to read. And Father, please help us to remember what we have read and the notes that we have taken so that we can share with one another our insights. And please watch over Andy and Paula, that they can be safe and hopefully join us before we are done. And Father, we love you so much and say these things in the most humble name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you.
Great. No, thank y'all. Okay.
Are you recording already?
Oh yeah. It's on live. So
Okay.
it's on my YouTube channel.
All
And
right.
then I'll go back in YouTube and I'll just edit it a little bit, and then
Sure.
I'll post the link to the discussion board so that they can see it.
Great.
Okay. So the article is called "The New York Times: What Google Learned from Its Quest to Build the Perfect Team."
Yeah.
And
What a great article.
It was.
very interesting.
They as we go through the questioning and all that stuff, I'll try not to interject so much and all that, because I've been working. I don't know. I'm probably one of the older classmates you've been around before. Nonetheless, I currently work with an international team, and this is reminiscent of a lot of the stuff that our HR group does on a regular basis, or what they help try to teach and motivate people with.
Yeah, no, definitely, for sure. I've been in schools since 2015, and I'm still a year away from my undergrad. So I have been in many groups, mainly to the fact that I've changed my majors so many times. It's not even funny anymore.
Right.
So, let's see. The first question they want us to discuss is about, from your personal experience, what have been key behaviors in effective teams? Yeah, as far as like groups, like from a school perspective, it's all about self-motivation and also a willingness to participate. You know, I've had some groups. I'm in a group right now where, you know, you guys, this group, is emailing back and forth. Oh, I'll be there. Hey, see you tomorrow. Thanks for the invite. Yeah, Tuesday at 8 Mountain Standard Time, correct? And then I've got another group where we're supposed to start a big project, and it's only me and another girl.
Oh, goodness.
You know, so it's like some people just like they lack the initiative, or they lack the self-motivation and a willingness to participate. So, you know.
Yeah. All valid points. And, you know, when I was reading the question as well, you know, I came up with the ideas that, you know, in teams that I've been involved with, compassion, concern, and empathy is really something I think that's been a crucial building component of effective teams that I've been involved with.
It is hard to make like a compassion or empathy with people all around the country or even the world, right? So it's hard to get not everyone. But I was reading the article, and just this past Thanksgiving, we have a lunch with all the employees, and one of the mechanics who works directly with me, I told him, hey, so don't go with the first. We have like a barbecue, and I said, don't go with the first meat because it's the cheap meat. So wait until we got the good meat. And he just texted me the next day, and he said, hey, thank you for taking care of me and warn me about that. So it's a simple thing you can do, like a care about somebody else, right? And that make like the team work better and do like a better stuff together, right?
Yeah. Good example.
Hey, Paola, can you hear us?
Hey, yeah. Sorry, just that I have problems with my Hangouts, but don't worry, I'm here. Sorry.
Right.
No, it's good. I can hear you now. Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah, so we were just discussing the first question. You know, just how have you seen people be effective? You know, key behaviors in effective like groups and stuff. Is there anything you want to weigh in
About effective?
Yeah, like key behaviors. So I talked about like people have to be willing to help and willing to participate, and if they're not willing to participate, then it's not the group doesn't go as smoothly as it should.
I think that I saw that with my boss. And 2 times as my boss because he moved to another area, but then he came back. The first time he was like, just, one of us. And he had the opportunity to become a leader. And the first time that we kind of already knew him, it wasn't a really good experience for most of the team because we were like, yeah, we know you. You're just like one of us. You shouldn't be our boss. And it was very ineffective because because they were so friends with him, they started to talk against on his back about they thought that he could do better. And then he was more effective. Actually, what I read about the article about the way that Matt Takahashi, I think it's the last name, expressed about what he felt or the illness that he was going through, just remind me on my boss the second time that I was with him, because he started to really mentioning that he wanted to work with us, and he was like, okay, I'm gonna make an update about how my life is going. Tell me about yours. And I think that sets a better work environment for us that make us be more productive. Now we kind of all really care about what's going on with the team, not just like, he's the team leader, he should manage that.
That's great. That's a great example. Thank you so much for that. See, we can go on to the next question. I think we answered that one pretty well. Where did I put them? I got hidden in my tabs. There we go. Okay, so this question I thought was kind of worded weirdly, like, what do group norms have to do with effective team building? Like, what would you say? What would you consider a group norm?
It was a when somebody talk, all the other people listen. Nobody talk or nobody overlap the conversation. I think it was one of the norms, right? Like, we have to be more receptive and hear what the other people are saying. And the other norm, I think, is we respect the group leader. So we expect like the one who is leading this week is he or is going to be the one who's going to make the question. We just wait for it, right? So I think that is some of the norms we used to wait or follow on this group.
I think that's really perceptive, because that's the questions asking us, what do group norms have to do with effective team building? And a couple of the group norms that we read, and I think we'll get to them as well, is it talks about equality and distribution of conversation turn taking, which is one, and the other one is an average social sensitivity. And those things, taking turns while you talk and being sensitive to others, are those things that make these norms build a comfort level for people so they can be involved with the team. Mm-hmm. I think that's kind of how I perceived it.
Yeah, I think you guys are right on the head about being, the being polite, taking turns, and asking questions and sharing insights. I think those are definitely part about the healthy group norms. And I think, I don't know, maybe it's being a member of the church that has cultured us to doing that, to doing so.
Yeah, actually, I was thinking when Paolo was talking about his friend getting a management position or supervising position. This week, I'm on the High Council on the stake. So one of my friends is one of the stake presidents, and we were talking about, in Spanish we have two different words. Like for you, we use tú, and usted is like you and die, I think, something like that. So one of the members of the High Council was asking that he has a little trouble to making the right choice using the right words. And I told, like, okay, if I'm talking with David, because he's my friend, he's one of the presidents of the stake. If I'm talking about something like a personalized David, but if I want to talk to him about something of the church or about his calling, my calling, is about its president, or is like a usted, or something different in Spanish, right? But the thing is, I think the church give us all these kind of like steps to how to behave. If we read on the manual, on the red manual about how to do consults and all the stuff, all the meetings, is everyone has to talk. All the people has the same representation and the same thing to say. So we have to listen to them and try to put them on different ways to make a decision. All this stuff is what we follow as a rule. And because we are on the church school, we try to follow the same things, right? So I think Nick has a good point on there. The church give it to us a great way to follow norms group.
Agreed, for sure. You know, and I think that's a circumstance that I fall back on all the time, is the things that I've learned in church. You know, whether it be an elders' quorum or wherever it might be, you know, all those things help me be sensitive to team members when I'm not at church, and I try to use those ideals in my business and my business team, and they work really well.
Yeah, that's right.
Also, I think that other thing that it's healthy, and that I think that we can say that we use in this group, it's the fact that we try to really think what we're going to say, because that's a conversation that I regularly have with my sister, that it doesn't matter what you say. Well, yes, it matters what you say and also the way you say it. So I think that that's other thing that we do, that if we want to add something, we don't make it sound like, yeah, you didn't say this, so I'm gonna say it. No, we all want to contribute to the discussion, and we all want to add because we feel like it's okay to give our input, not because, oh yeah, because this other person was lacking, I'm going to add this. So that's another norm, that I think that we are applying to the group. The fact that we know how to say things without sounding like we are being, too dismissive to the others.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's a very good point too, Paula. And I was thinking about, just how I treat my wife versus like coworkers. Like have you ever gotten into an argument, with your spouse or some family members over something really, silly, something really silly,
Yeah.
But then at work, when something, more complicated comes up, you're able to handle like your emotions a little bit better.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think it's something about you're being so close to like family. The emotions are tied there, so it's almost easier to get heated and to get angry than to do it to strangers. I don't know. That's like my personal experience. Is like I could deal with crazy people all day at work, but when I get home,
You work at the bank, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I was. It is interesting. On the article, it says something. This guy, I don't remember which one, says that he spent almost all day with the coworkers that like 8 hours, 10 hours with coworkers and a few less hours with the family. So he says it's better to be okay with the coworkers and to be like emotionally connected, because is the one who spent all the time with them.
Right.
In our case, I went to work like at 7, I go back to 5 or 5:30, something like that. And between after that, my kids are here like for 2 or 3 hours. We do church activities and they go to bed. So I spend like 8 hours, 10 hours with coworkers. So it's like a second family there.
Yes. Yeah, I get it.
And I think the problem goes all the other way around as well. Like if you feel vulnerable, when you are at work, when you really want to know something, it's very hard sometimes to express that you don't know what you're doing. And at home, it's like, yeah, I don't want to talk. You just don't talk. I don't know what to do. Just go and wander with them. But at work, you should try at least. I try to be like that with my coworkers because yes, I spent a lot of time with them, and if I'm feeling ill, I try to tell them, and I think that that's helped them also to feel comfortable to tell me at least in these little things, right? That they're not feeling that well, so we can help each other. We all have medicine over there. I don't think it's allowed to for us to have that much medicine as we have, but we do, and that's what it's about as well at work. We're gonna be there. What if you have something overwhelming? I mean, I was at work when I was advised about the, my grandparents, my two grandparents passing away, and my grandmother passing away recently at the beginning of the year. So that helped me to create this. I mean, I told them I was worried, and then when the moment came, like they all saw me cry and they pat my back, like it's gonna be okay, because they know that if they say something else, I will start crying even more.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's the thing that we really need to try to create this,
Connections.
yeah, this connection actually, yeah. Even if we don't want to sometimes, and it's not gonna happen with everybody, but yes, we should try.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it kind of brings us into our next one. This Sakaguchi. He shared his example of how he was living with cancer,
Cancer, yeah.
and how that changed his whole group dynamic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever had something that significant. I don't think I've ever worked with a group where we weren't able to work together as a team, just to get whatever we need to get done. But you're definitely more effective with once you start opening up to people and letting those people know who you are and kind of what made you who you are and how you operate.
Yeah, that I think, Nicholas, I think that is one of the keys from teams. If you know what they are going through, you can expect more or be easy on them or something, like help them to develop more skills. I don't know, because you know how they are, why they're acting like that. So making that connections make you be better, to understand better why they're acting like that.
And just like the story's example as well, if you're going to be, or like the several examples you guys have shared, we're going to be at these people many, many hours of the day throughout a week. You really do, for the benefit all, need to know them better, need to understand them better. They need to understand you, understand where your positions are at. And at least you can then walk a mile, if you will, in their shoes, so to speak. Then you'll understand that when they react a certain way to something, why they react that way and so forth. They'll know you better and understand you better. And all it does is just pave a better way for everybody to work together. So
I know. And I like the way he answered. They asked him why he's still working if he's on that position on health. And he says, why wouldn't I spend time with people who cares about me?
Yeah.
I think that is the key answer, right? So if they care about me, why do I leave it, right?
Yeah, very good.
Yeah, actually, I had an experience with this quite recently at work. I was recently promoted, and one of the team members, she had worked 40 years at Lowe's hardware store as a
Sorry, it's the one in the discussion?
No, this is like a personal example.
Okay. No,
Well, you put it in the discussion board, right, about this?
yeah, I was thinking
Yes.
about that.
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay, yeah. So, yeah,
Yeah,
I want to hear the rest of the story. Yeah.
but no, so she was a manager. She was kind of a manager at Lowe's for a small part of the, I think, like communications or whatnot. But they laid her off, because of they had to lay off some workers, and so she got hired as a banker, and I got promoted to a banker probably a couple months later. So this she kind of took it upon herself to show me the ropes, if you will.
Oh,
But you go through training, so it was kind of hard to say thank you for taking the time to show me that, but I already knew that because I've gone through training.
right.
So I mean, it was rough and it was difficult, and it took she kind of yelled at me one Friday because I was helping somebody else out, and I was doing something that she didn't know how to do, because in my previous job I was a teller, and she had just transferred from Lowe's, so she didn't know how to work their system. So I think that upset her, and I think she was also stressed about the weather and getting home, and so she kind of yelled at me, and I was helping this other girl, and she was like, well, that was weird, why'd she yell at you? And I go, I don't know. But it took me the weekend to figure out all that information, that she was probably upset and stressed, and so I just went ahead and I apologized to her, say, and kind of took the whole blame on me, saying it was my fault. And
She said that?
No, I said all that.
No,
Okay.
I said all that. I apologized,
Yeah.
I took the blame, and so
Okay.
after that, our relationship got better, I guess, and we're able to work together, effectively.
That's good.
So sometimes you got to do that.
It's kind of like it's never gonna be good, but it's the closest that it's gonna get to be good, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So, well, I think there's one more question that we could discuss, I guess.
The last one?
Yeah, the last one just talks about what can you do as an individual to initiate effective team behavior.
I think I can be truly care about others. I think that is one of the keys, right? To truly think about them and help them to develop or to do something else.
I think that's a good point. One of the things I do in my job is I drive. I travel a lot. A lot. And one of driving is, as you can imagine, I drive 70,000 miles a year, and I have for a very long time. And you know what? I'm not a road rage kind of a guy, but you know what? I've been noted to yell some really loud noises at people that did awful driving things, and I don't know, in the last few years, every time somebody pulls out in front of me in an erratic manner or something like that, I'm going, well, that's the Lord's child there. How would he want me to react?
Slapping in the head.
So I'm trying to do the same thing like Nicholas was just talking about. I try to take the blame on myself a little bit for driving too aggressively, and and try to shoulder some of the responsibility and go, you know what, maybe that person's having a bad day, or maybe they just started to learn how to drive, or a number of other things. Anyhow, the point is just like you're saying, Gustavo, just trying to be a little more empathetic and understanding of other people is always going to make for a better circumstance. So.
That's right.
For sure, yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was thinking that what can I do, right? to initiate effective team behavior. And I think that at work, at least, we kind of have it because we really work hard because of this change on my boss coming in and going back and coming back again. So he really made an effort, to like be really open with everybody about his issues. And well, at least myself in return, I try to be open with him and with everybody about what's going on with my life or with the work that I'm doing. But I think that's something else that I could maybe do is try to listen because I don't follow your example, guys. I don't blame myself. Sorry. I don't know. Yeah, it's maybe because it's like our work is very individual. So if something happens, you can't really blame me if you did something wrong. Like it's pretty obvious you did it.
Right.
So maybe what I'll try to do is just be more positive about those things. Like okay, you did wrong, but you know what? We all do, or I did it last time, and we can do better. I know you can do better. Maybe that's something that will show them that because I'm kind of senior on what I'm doing, the translations. So I've been there for 3 years, so I know how to handle most of the time whatever it comes for the translations. So I think that I'll do that. I'll just show or share my examples like, yeah, I remember when I did that, or yeah, you can do this or that to avoid that. I think that's what I can do.
I like it.
That's great, and your method doesn't have to be, our methods, or you just
Performance.
you got to figure out what works for you. So I just think the important thing is to not pass the blame. I have people come in all the time saying, "Oh, Wells Fargo did this, Wells Fargo did that, Wells Fargo, you need to fix it."
You're like,
And they did.
Yeah, no. And yes, no, there are cases of that, and Wells Fargo is trying to do its best to remediate all that, but I'm here to help the people that walk in and that want help. I can't help you if you made a mistake and now you're under a time crunch to fix it, So
that's right. I want to point. It says there is two. This says two behaviors that all good teams generally share. One was the one Jeff mentioned, the equally in distribution of conversational turn taking, and the second one is they call it the average social sensitivity. So it's a fancy way to say the skill intuit how others felt based on their faces. So I think that one. I think we can as individual we can learn how to read people expressions, right? I like a show they call the Big Bang Theory. I don't know if you watched that show before, but the guy, the main character, he's very smart, but he cannot understand people, and it is funny how they put this guy over there. But I think that is a good thing to know that how people are feeling just based on their inspiration or how they react. How Nick talked about this girl his work. So I think we can learn how to understand fast expressions or behavior, and that will help to create an effective team too.
Perfect. Yeah.
Yep. Perfect.
Alrighty. Well, I think I think we had a good discussion today. I don't.
It was.
Is there anything else anybody wants to add before we leave?
No.
No. Okay. Great. Of course. Thanks for coming, and sorry we weren't able to make it happen last week.
Oh, it's all good. I have two discussion groups too, and we finally decided to put my other discussion group on Wednesday at the same time. So anyhow, I was battling that last week, but we're all good.
That's good. Who is the next one on the list?
I don't know. I don't know if I'm less than 5 or 6. I don't recall, but if it's me, I'll make sure to send.
5.
Is it me?
Yes, it's you. Don't worry. Yes.
Good. I thought it
We
was.
don't have nobody for lesson 6.
Oh,
For
okay.
lesson 6? I think I put it on lesson 6. I'm not in there.
Okay.
No, but you're in 7.
I'm in 7.
Yes. We're missing 6, 9, 11, 13, and 14.
Okay, so I can do.
I can. Yep.
Let me go to the group.
So I'll do 5 next week. I'll send the invitation out early. You'll get it like Saturday.
All right, perfect.
So we'll get that all put together and everything will work well. And then, and after I complete next week meeting, then I'll fill in on some of the other ones as well. So
Perfect. All right.
perfect.
Great.
All right.
Do we want to end with a prayer? I know we began with one.
It's up
Sure.
to you.
Okay. Jeff, do you mind?
Yeah, we'd be happy to. Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
Dear Heavenly Father, as we come to the close of this meeting, we're so thankful for the inspiration, the guidance that you give us. We pray that the spirit of this meeting might be with us, that we might, as we work and discuss our topics together, that we might learn and grow. We're so grateful again for the many blessings you give us, and we thank you for the great example that we have in Jesus Christ. And we say these things in his name, Jesus.
Amen.
Amen.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
All right. Good night. Thank you.
Good night.
See you soon. Bye-bye.
Yes.